I am Media here, and guess what? We're back for more incredible journeys into the lives of everyday heroes on the World Without People podcast. Dive into more vibrant stories, shared experiences, and mind blowing perspectives with me in season 2. New faces, new stories, but the same old vibe. So, whether you're a seasoned listener or just stumbling upon this oasis of humanity, welcome. Grab your favorite beverage and join the adventure. Let's celebrate the beauty of the world, one remarkable story at a time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the World Without People podcast. My name is Ayamide, and I'm so excited for you guys to be joining me on what's promising to be a good and interesting adventure because we're also starting video podcast with season 2. I hear some whoop whoop, I hope. But for me, that's a hard thing. I'm not a video person at all. But Google Podcast is leaving, so there will no longer be Google Podcast, and I think as well as Amazon. And so I had a few people who that's primarily how they listened, and they're like, we need to listen to you. Are you going to put this on YouTube? And I'm like, well, no, not really. And then I had another friend reach out, shout out to Shirley, and he's like, nah, you got to do this. Like in 2024, he's like, it's an easy thing, do it. I am sweating as I speak to you. I don't know if that was TMI, but here's to doing hard things in 2024. And so, speaking of hard things, together with this, I always start the year with a 21-day fast. I've been doing this now for, God, since 2011, I think, no, 2012, 2012, 2012. 2012 or whenever that was. I may not have started that very first year, but like I've been doing it now for at least 7 years, at least. And, it's gotten easier. Maybe not easier, but it's gotten easier. But this year, I decided that I wanted to do something really, really hard. And if you know me, you know that my really hard thing is not drinking coffee. I have pretty much not gone a day without drinking coffee, except for when I had my surgery and I was in the hospital for a couple days, and then I wasn't allowed to drink it for another couple weeks. And it was torture. And I really actually believe that my tummy would have been completely flat from that surgery if I was able to stop drinking coffee, or if I didn't drink coffee as early as I did, as well as spices. I'm Nigerian. I just don't know how I was supposed to eat food without pepper. And I'm particularly a Yoruba girl who feels like if I don't eat pepper, in Yoruba we say Omari or Lara, right? That's how we say it. Sorry, my Yoruba is like I'm working on it. I can hear properly, but my speaking is totally bad. And I think I just exposed my very, very, very bad nails to you guys. Like, sorry. When they're good, these are my natural nails. I just want you to know when they're good, yeah, they're that long. But when they're bad, which is when I haven't done them, it's just a mess and a half. Oh my gosh, like this is just, can you see this? Am I showing the camera? I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. Anyways, whatever. Here's to being real on the podcast. But anyways, I say all of that to say that I haven't drank coffee now for 20 days. 20 days. Tomorrow is the last day of the fast. Thank you, Jesus. And come Tuesday, I am drinking a gallon of coffee. And so if you know me and you have my address, will you please just be kind and send me coffee? Like just this week, just surprise me, love me with some coffee. Let me know I am loved by sending me some coffee. If you see this or if you listen to this as it comes out, just feel like I know her address or get it from my siblings or someone who you know knows it. Just surprise me. That's the kind of surprise that I like. I hate surprises, but that's the kind of surprise that I like. But yes, that's the second hard thing that I am doing or that I've done for this year or I will be doing for this year. I hope to be able to, now that I've done it, continue to keep up with it. And honestly, just a testimony as well. This is the first time I've actually also done the fast like all the way to the very end. Like, so typically, right, we fast from basically midnight to 6:45. And I know that Muslims listening to me like are just like, yeah, whatever. We've done longer probably. But I mean, the grace of God as a Christian, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. And this is the first time I've finished till 6:45 every day. Cause like sometimes you'd be like, oh, God understands, like I'm ending at 12 today or I'm ending at 3 today. Most days ended up at 6:45, but like, sometimes maybe at that 6, you're like, I'm already praying now. So like I can like put something in my mouth. But like literally 6:45. And then usually then I am just even starting to put something together to eat because I didn't want a situation where I would try anything by mistake and forget and just be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I'm just so grateful to God, but I'm also grateful that I can do some of these things now. And, it's a good habit to do now before kids because we have my nephew around for a couple days. And, he's about to be 2 and he's so excited. He wants to share things with you. And he's like, oh, Auntie Boo Boo, eat this. And I'm like, no, Auntie Boo Boo and erase on. And I'm like, no, I cannot eat. Auntie Boo Boo cannot eat. Guy was trying to tempt me, but we thank God for God. Speaking of my nephew is actually going to be 2 on the day you guys get to see this or hear this, which is the 23rd. And I can't believe it. Like, I was there when he came out of his mom. Like, and now he's about to be 2. And oh, God, like last year, like he was attempting to walk and we were silently freaking out that he wasn't walking at 1. I mean, he started walking a few days after, but it was like, all these little things and like just watching him grow. Now it's Auntie Boo Boo, don't do this. Auntie Boo Boo, dance. Auntie Boo Boo, I want to listen to this. And yes, my baby at 2 years old, before 2, he speaks well. He speaks Yoruba and, well, he speaks certain words in Yoruba and is also learning French. Like, he's just the most amazing baby in the world and just really made me also know what I am as an aunt. So I really, really appreciate my Iri and Auntie Bobo, for life, except when he shouts my name and then he just shouts Bookie because maybe my mom had said it. Mom is G Mama, by the way. The other aunt is Auntie Momo, and then Uncle Papa. It's just amazing the way he like calls our names. Like he can literally, or when he wants to pray, and then he's praying for everybody. Thank you, God, for Auntie Momo and for Auntie Bobo and for everybody. And anyways, I say all of this to say happy birthday, baby day. God bless you. God keep you. God make His face shine upon you. I know. Well. I know your mom is probably not playing this for you, but for posterity's sake, I just want you to know you are the complete love of my life as of right now. Well, I share you with a lot of other babies as well, I should say. But for all intents and purposes, I love you. Happy birthday. So yeah, that's been what's happening. Okay, no, so I digressed, right? Talking about anyway. But yes, so 2 things that I've been doing, hard things. Now the third thing I've been doing is something that I have read is beneficial for your health. How true that is, I am not quite sure yet. I've only been doing it since the beginning of the year, and that is cold baths. And I mean ice cold, well, not baths in my case, showers. I saw this guy who did this thing last year where he did 365 days of ice cold. Like, I mean, he's actually had ice in the bath and he would do it, I think, for 1 or 2 minutes. And, when he would do it, he would like, talk about something or the other, mostly on Instagram. And I had another friend, I think I always I'm probably going to be referring to Olu for a while, but Olu had talked about or does a lot of health fitness things and so on his Instagram. And by referring to Olu, I mean like he was the first guest on last year's or last season's episode. And so he talks a lot about fitness and he's talked a lot about ice baths and, some of the benefits. And so I said, you know what? Okay, I don't think I can completely do ice cold showers. And so what I do is I'll still have a bath or a shower with like, my regular hot water. I'm that girl who in secondary school did not like boarding house because I couldn't boil my water or I would be like late because, I had to boil my water. Who remembers that? I forget what it's called. The ring thing. So yeah, whatever. That was I like literally I had to boil my water to shower because like ain't nobody doing that. I don't do cold water. But here am I, or here I am, is that the word? The 21st, and for as many days that I've showered, because I'm not going to lie to you, I work from home for the most part, and I'm at home for the most part. When I'm not traveling, I don't shower every day. It's just like there's nobody with me. That's smelling me. When I get married, I have to deal with the shower every day, but as of right now, like, no. Mostly every other day, though, because, like, just I need to clean up, and that doesn't mean I don't clean up. I just don't shower. I don't know if I'm saying too much here, but whatever. He has to be real in 2024. And so every day that I showered, I then end with ice cold, like like breathing so hard for the last 1 2 minutes of the shower, and my god, it is painful. I will say that I feel like it's been helpful for the fast because then I had some kind of energy. I've had some kind of energy, like I'm not drained throughout the day, you know because of it, because like just that keeps gets my heart going. Because yeah, no, I am also not working out during the fast because I don't know how people do that. Shout out to everybody who does, like, who actually lives their life like that. But that's also my thing with intermittent fasting. Like, I'm like, because I know I'm going to eat, it's okay to go and work out. But yeah, like other than that, like I don't know, or maybe I know I can break it earlier. I'm not necessarily a go and work out and expend all that energy and not want to pop something into my mouth immediately after, or at the very least coffee. So maybe that's the thing. Because I've always done intermittent fasting in general. That's how I can keep my weight if I'm not like really stuck on like trying to work out. But I think that for me, I always had coffee, so I always felt full. Without coffee, I don't know, I don't think I'm ever going to work out. But that's going to be the fourth. I said three things already, right? Three things I've been doing that are hard things. And that's prepping up to be my fourth hard thing in 2024. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, and so I'm calling this the year of doing hard things for me. So many other things I'm thinking about, want to do, hoping that I have the courage and the faith to go through all of that. And so I wonder, what are you guys doing that are hard things? If you guys want to let me know in the comments, that would be really, really awesome. And you can send it to us via Instagram DM as well. I want to know, what are the hard things that you're doing in 2024? If you've not thought of any hard things, I hope this inspires you to do something hard. And I'm curious, what are the hard things that you think you can do and you're going to have the courage to do in 2024? So yeah, that's about that. So for the year, what are we expecting? Lots of fun conversations as well. We're going to cover a bunch of topics. I think everything from gambling to just general resilience, forgiveness, to the church. Yes, I'm prepping to get my pastor on here and just, how he does that, because that seems like a lot of work, and just so much more. I am really looking forward to it. Shout out to everybody who's reached out too. It's one thing to be doing this and, you're looking for people and you're trying to see, oh, who has an interesting story. And, it's not like I know everybody, like I don't know everybody's story. I may have a lot of friends, but I don't know what their stories are. And, getting people reach out to say, hey, I want to speak to you, I don't mind speaking to you, has been really awesome. And I'm looking forward to some of this conversation. As you know, I pre-record these, so I'm just having an idea of who I have scheduled on the calendar. I'm pretty excited, and I hope you guys are going to rock with me, enjoy this journey with me. And yeah, but before I go, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I have been observing over the past 3 months, and that's just this idea of love. Honestly, like, I'm again Christian. We understand, love, love, love. We know that God is love, and so we're supposed to love. We know that the Bible says that, our first two commandments are to love God and to love others as we love ourselves. But it's not often displayed, loving others as we love ourselves. Because what does that really mean? It means you putting others before yourself. And that's, let's be honest, that's not natural, I think, for a lot of people. And I used to always think that I needed to be a mom to really understand what love is. And in some ways, I still do, because the past couple months I've been with my mom. She actually wasn't even staying with me, but just she was at my sister's, and I would, talk to her every day, or like, go often to my sister's to see her. And I think, I've just really seen her at this old age, right? She's in her 60s, loving on me. It really opened my eyes to the fact that, there is something to be said for loving others above yourself, right? Like, I'm 37, I think. And just seeing my mom want to stand up and cook for me, like, especially even like with this fast, like, I'll come out of the room and she'll be like, okay, what should I cook for you? I'm like, I'm a grown woman. I can't cook for myself. But actually, that's just in my head, because nowadays I'm just like, yes, mommy, thank you. Like, because her food is banging. And it's just amazing. And she's like, and in all of this, she's also been dealing with some, body pains. It's part of the age. And I'm like, you sit down. Like, I know you're tired. And she's like, what's the big deal? Like, you know, I can make it. And like the other day, I was traveling and I'm like, oh, please help me do this or whatever. And she's like, oh, should I do this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, if it's not a bother. And she's like, just tell me what to do. By the time I came, my mom had, okay, so let me even say it. I'm saying do this. I had told her to help me take out the chicken. Like, I'll come and make it when I got home. And she's like, oh, okay. It's like, should she blend the peppers? And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, if you don't mind. Because I knew she was hurting a little bit. So I'm like, oh, if you don't mind, like, no stress. I can do it when I get back. I was scheduled to be back home like by 7. So I'm like, oh, no problem. Like, I'll do it when I get back. By the time I came, my mom had made the complete meal, like complete, like, and she had even done extra to the point where I had enough. Like, I can make food this week or next week. And I'm just like, ma'am, like, you didn't have to do that. And it just really buttresses love for me, like love above oneself, right? And sometimes she always says this idea of, or because I'm the first child, like this idea that I would do it for anybody, and that I'm very giving of myself, so why can't she do that? But I know that if I was tired, I would have been tired. In fact, I am the worst person when I'm sick. So if any part of my body is hurting, I am sitting my butt down and doing nothing for anybody. Like, can someone feed me? Like, please, can someone send me food? And just seeing her go through that, I wish that for everybody. I think about people who might have lost their mom, lost a parent, and I can't even begin to imagine, because I'm over here like, God, you promised that with long life and good health will you satisfy us. Like, this woman has to be here to take care of my kids, right? I've seen her with, her grandson, her first grandson. And I always tease that my mom has a lot of grandbabies, because really and truly she does. But, there's also the spending time, like reading to him, like, teaching him things like 1 plus 1. Like, my mom brought out that whole, you remember when we used to do counting with like the covers of bottles? We used to do it with like Coke and Fanta and all those kind of bottle covers, right? We mostly drink water now, so it was water bottles. And she was using that to show my nephew, teach my nephew math. And I was just like, that's amazing. And so I've been thinking a lot about love, like that kind of sacrificial love, in seeing her go through this journey as a grandparent, but just how she's still willing to take care of us. Like, I think I should spend, my money, my time, making sure she's okay. And she doesn't see it that way. Like, I don't know the last time I made my money. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, because my money is a lot of work. Like, it's just a lot of work. And like, in 2 seconds, and she's like, it doesn't take time, and she will make my mind. Like, if I just say, mommy, I feel like my mind, like, I mean, I get it that your mom is supposed to love you. I hope every mom is as loving to their kids, but I think that for me, it's it buttresses how I feel about love, how I feel like love is really sacrificial. We can't say we love people and it's not sacrificial. We can't say we love people and we're not willing to go above and beyond. We can't say we love anything, not just even people, but like even sometimes, like when I think about what I do, or like this podcast, right? Like I know the sacrifices I'm willing to make to ensure that it becomes successful. I know, like, some, like, I know many people who started podcasts and they're just like, okay, just start, right? And I'm over here like, okay, what is the best tool? What is the best platform? Like, this is me changing platform again, just because I think like it's quite important. I have someone who's helping me edit. I'm still trying to see, is there any other way we can make this bigger and better? Like, you can't say you love something, love someone, because I think someone over something, obviously, and not be sacrificial. So I think that that's the second thing I wanted to leave us with as we start 2024. How loving are you? How willing to be loving are you? How willing to be sacrificial in your love are you? And maybe ponder on that. We always have goals for the year. We think about all the things that we're going to do, all the things we're going to accomplish. And I think I want to challenge people to make loving others a goal. Make loving others a goal. I think it's part of what I say on my podcast. I can't even remember now. I think it's what I say on the end of my podcast. But, I think for me, it's something I live out. But now I see that it's not even something you only do in the best of times, you also do it in the worst of times. And it's something that I need to keep doing. And I just want to encourage you guys to make that the goal of your life, or a goal of your life in 2024. I think that you will never, ever, ever go wrong with loving people. I know, sometimes it's hard to trust people. It's, people will do you dirty. How do we say it? People will stain your white, and everybody is not green for anybody in 2024. Oh, so I've also been off of Instagram for the past 20 days, 21 tomorrow. And so I've only seen this kind of like on WhatsApp. And, I've also tried not to go and figure out where this thing started from. Like, who started this idea of not green for 2024? I think I was trying to tell my sister about it because my sister is completely not on social media. And I think she said it was, and I think we were saying that maybe it was the Spinall song. I don't know who started it. And then I saw something yesterday that said that Pastor Nathaniel Bassi was saying that, well, single people should agree to date or agree to, meet people because, he wants to attend weddings. And I laughed so much at that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that agree to love. Love strangers, love everybody. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And obviously, you can't pour out of an empty vessel, right? So you yourself have to be loved, but you can only, and maybe that's a bad thing to say, but you're only as loved as you're loving, I think. I personally think. I've always said it. I'm completely spot with love. Spot. Friends, family, absolutely spot when it comes to that whole idea of love. Just maybe not relationships. Maybe that's why I'm still single. But in general, in fact, actually, speaking of that, I went on a date last year. Yeah, yeah, to end the year. And somebody should say thank God, by the way, because the story there is like, just God is working on me. But anyways, one of the things he said, he's like, are you even able to accept love? He's like, because I feel like, you know, because you're so used to being on your own and, dealing, just being the first child and things. And maybe he could relate because he's a first child. He's like, I don't know if you're able to accept love. And I had to think about that because, like I said, on the one hand, I feel so completely loved and so completely spoilt with love. But I wonder if in that place of relationship I can quote unquote put my cross down and accept somebody else's cross, so put my own need to pour out to accept even more. But that's something I'm going to have to work through. And so for, you consider, are you loved? And if you're not, is that because, one way you're not loving, but maybe on the other way, you're not accepting any love. Even when people are trying, you push them away because you've been hurt, because of bad experiences and things like that. And so you're also not giving love because, again, you cannot pour out of an empty vessel. I've said a lot. I hope that made sense. But yeah, I definitely thought that that was something that I've been thinking about through this year and at least the beginning of this year. And I want to share it with you guys. And I hope it sets the tone for your 2024. With that said, likely not seeing me do this again for 2024. And so every other episode will be with guests, God willing. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Thank you all so much for coming on this journey with me. Have a wonderful rest of the year. And yeah, let me know what you think about love. Like I mentioned, let me know what hard things you're doing for the year. And let me know what you think about this idea of a video podcast for as many as we can, because I should let you know that, if I have Nigerian guests and the internet is bad, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it, but we will still put it out on YouTube. We just, it'll just be audio and we'll kind of have to figure out how it will look. But yeah, those are the few things I wanted to share with all of you guys, and I'll see you through every episode up until December again. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for joining me in today's episode. Just like you would share with friends about a great book you read, don't forget to share this if you enjoyed it. Connect with us on IG and Twitter at TWWPcast and get details on the website at worldwithoutpeople.org. And hey, remember to make loving others the story of your life. Until next time, this is the World Without People.